Hi there, John Wilkinson here and History Made Easier. Prohibition was a big deal in America in the 1920s, and this video is going to take a look at the reasons behind the introduction of Prohibition, as well as the reasons behind ending Prohibition. I think the reasons behind Prohibition can be grouped around two main factors. The first, moral, and the second, economic. The big moral issue was that it was felt that alcohol was the cause behind the breakup of too many American families. And alcohol was also seen as a corrupting influence on young Americans. Alcohol was blamed for the level of crime in America, and alcohol was even blamed for cases of insanity. So moral reasons. The economic reasons begin with the fact that alcohol was seen as a factor behind the levels of poverty in America. It was argued that too many Americans were drinking when they should have been directing their money towards their family needs. Alcohol was also blamed for so much absenteeism from work and from inefficiency in the workplace. So economic reasons. Behind this as well was the fact that alcohol, the production and the drinking of alcohol, was seen as unpatriotic during World War II. So many breweries were German-owned, and the amount of wheat that was being used to make alcohol could have been used, it was argued, to feed the troops. So it was seen as unpatriotic as well as everything else. So they are key factors behind the push to introduce Prohibition. The ending of Prohibition, let's take a look at that now. I think we can group this around four factors this time. The first really is the impracticality of Prohibition. It was seen as unenforceable. It was seen as unconstitutional. And it was seen as, at heart, un-American. So many Americans just wanted to have an innocent drink on the way home from work, on the weekend. It seemed as if they were being denied an innocent pleasure. And the fact that so many Americans liked to have a drink made it Prohibition simply unforceable. There were more speakeasies than there were legal bars in the days of before Prohibition. And it was argued that it created crime, that there were the speakeasies, and behind the speakeasies there were other criminal activities like gambling and prostitution. It created gangs and gang warfare, and it created corruption in every part of society, in the police force, in the political system. And so alcohol, or the ban of alcohol, the introduction of Prohibition, had created a whole new ranch of illegality. It also was argued that there were economic factors for ending Prohibition. There was the loss of tax revenues. There was the loss of legitimate profits from the breweries, from the bars, from the delivery firms, every level of the industry. Jobs were lost as well. And so big economic reasons for ending prohibition. And just as the war had given an extra reason for introducing prohibition, so the Great Depression and the desperate need to create jobs and to create more tax revenue to pay for the measures that were going to dig America out of the Great Depression were another dimension to the argument to end prohibition. So we have the arguments that led to this incredible period in American history and the arguments that led to the end of it. So, I hope that was useful for you. As always, I thank you for listening. Cheers for now.